This week on Cards to Yards, Lou and I compare collections. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Cards to Yards, the greatest podcast ever recorded at the stadium. We're hanging out here doing the podcasty thing. This is Cory DLG. That's Lou. We are, of course, the two most important people that work at the stadium. We're the guys you're supposed to ask for when you have big questions. And
well, that you can see. I mean, let's not forget our producer.
That's true. But she doesn't like to be disturbed. But today we're gonna recap our predictions from the Super Bowl. Where I feel fine saying we nailed it.
We nailed the winner. We just didn't nail our predictions. I mean, you thought it was going to be a blowout.
I did. I changed
it from 10-7. So I mean,
you were closer.
Reality, I was closer.
You did say it was going to be a close game. I didn't think it was.
We
were
first.
Close.
I mean, we definitely lost on the first touch.
Yeah, we both had. So recap.
Kelsey didn't score at all.
No, he didn't. But they threw to him all the time.
Yeah, he had like 10 receptions.
He had
like
a
almost
great
100 yards.
fantasy day if you were doing that.
First half, he only had 2 yards. And then that's in the fourth quarter when they kept on storming up and down the field. That's where he picked up all the rest.
Well, that's what happens when you shove Andy Reid. You get the ball thrown at you. You just shove him, and then Andy's like, "Get that man the ball."
They made that such a big deal.
It wasn't a good look for him in that moment.
Wasn't.
And the optics have changed for him. Like now that he's a Taylor Swift person, that whole universe is going to evaluate everything he does on a different way. They're not football people. They're Taylor Swift people.
Look, you've played sports before,
yeah,
right? That competitive drive, that it's in that soul, man.
It gets in the moment, and you
gets hot, man.
There's so many players, so many great players who have done dumb things in a moment where then they go, "Look, that was obviously that was not the right move." I mean, even Hakeem Olajuwon and all of his religious ways got thrown out once. He punched him
in the chest or in the throat. No. He bumped him like,
he did bump him.
Keep me in the game.
The thing of it is, we forget Andy Reid is pretty old now. Like 68, 70? He's not young.
Hey, look at Pete Carroll. Nobody thinks he's like 80.
You know what's crazy?
Pete Carroll looks like maybe a high-end 40s.
Some people age so well that you do forget how old they are, and then some people age so badly where you're like, "What are you, 130?"
Well, he's
like, what's
been
going
in football for all his life, like Pete Carroll, right? Been in football all his life, and that means he does everything with his team as well too. He runs with them.
He's a fit guy.
He's a fit guy, right? So all his life, well, more like maybe 75% of his life.
But there's other guys who have been in that.
Consistently working.
There's other guys who have been like fit guys who look older because Pete Carroll is. He's 70.
He's like 70-something,
yeah.
70s.
So to me, I think what's interesting is Pete Carroll has always been that kind of energy guy. So like he they talked about when he came to the Seahawks, he started doing stuff like competition Mondays, and that was how so many of those young rookies and undrafted guys made that first year roster that performed so well. The Legion of Boom found it and all that because those guys were low round picks.
The competitiveness, right?
Yeah.
So, and back to Kelsey, I mean, the competitiveness just came out of him. You heard him after the game, like, I can't remember, like, I'm sorry, but it wasn't meant to be like what it was. Well, it was just the warrior inside of me coming out.
And honestly, Andy Reid took it exactly the same way. Yeah. No one was mad about it. No one who's relevant was mad about it. But from the outside looking in, there were lots of people. I mean, it was on Entertainment Tonight.
Did you hear the Kelsey podcast? Like his brother said, "Man, that's not what you do," or anything.
Yeah.
He said, "Man, I just wanted to give him a hug."
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing I like about that show and the two of them is they are honest. They are not
brutally honest.
So I mean, when he screwed up, Jason Kelsey was the first one to say, "Hey, we both know that's totally unacceptable." And Travis said, "You're right, it is."
He even said it.
And so like I really like that. As a matter of fact, if you watch the Jason Kelsey documentary on Amazon Prime,
I did watch it. It's good.
It's great.
It's really great.
But in there, where Travis Kelsey screwed up and got thrown off the college football team for marijuana, Jason Kelsey was the first one to get onto him and be disappointed in him, but also to have his back and get him on the team.
Because he represented that family, man.
Yeah, and so like I really dig kind of the honesty that they have there with all that. I think it's a really cool dynamic the two of them have. But so back to the Super Bowl, I predicted early explosion from the Chiefs and then like a slow wear down, but a comfortable game.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case.
Definitely wasn't.
It was an incredible defensive based game. Yeah. You did predict a lot more low scoring. You predicted kind of a competitive game. Your score prediction was kind of in the neighborhood. You said 21-14 Chiefs.
Yeah,
and
7 points.
It was 19-19 at the end of the fourth. So you're within the margin of error.
23. We definitely did not see that thing going into OT.
No. And what was interesting about that is the overtime rules for the playoffs were a little different. And so as it was winding,
no tie.
Well, you can't have a tie, but you could have let the time expire.
But he did say
Tony Romo was literally saying that
game.
As the game,
it's a brand new game.
The ref who handles the coin toss he said this is a new game, blah blah blah, and that was an interesting thing to say because it doesn't register at the time. Like that doesn't mean what it means, you know. When you hear the ref say it, you're just like, yeah, I mean overtime, new game, okay, yeah, I like it.
It's because also like if you think about it, most teams they can sustain a drive for upwards of
7-8 minutes. Yeah, absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
15-minute quarter or a 12-minute quarter, the 12-minute over quarter. I mean, you got 4 minutes to try to prove.
That's basically what happened. San Francisco held the ball a long time. When the Chiefs got the ball, I think there was about 5 or 6 minutes on the clock.
There was.
And so when they get down there, it did take them the full 5 minutes to score. But they also weren't like in a hurry. They weren't running any kind of like quick drive 4-minute drill or anything like that. They were just going down the field doing their thing. And when they get down there, the clock is kind of ticking, and there's sort of this weird moment. When they hike that ball, there's about 6 seconds left or so. And I remember thinking, like, are they just that confident in this play? Like, I remember thinking, like, why are they working these timeouts?
Because a lot of people thought the game would end. No.
Yeah.
It's literally another first quarter.
Yeah, if the Chiefs had not scored there.
And they kicked the field goal, they would go into a second overtime, which is a second quarter.
Right. Well, they would have just continued the clock and continued playing.
Yeah.
If the Chiefs had taken a field goal there. Mm-hmm. Now, if the Chiefs didn't score at all, like let's say they go 4 and out or turnover, the game ends.
Oh, yeah.
And that is when a 49ers victory would have happened. But the clock becomes irrelevant, essentially. They just literally are running it as though the NFL rules. So that was, I think, third down that they scored on, second or third. Let's say it was second. So they run the play there and they don't score. Let's say when the play is over, they're on the 2-yard line and the clocks go to 0. Okay, well, they just flip into the field like it's second quarter, and they wind it back up to 12 or 15 or whatever it was, and then they run third down. Whoa. Now, if the Chiefs fumble there and the 49ers recover, that's the end of the game. If the Chiefs score the touchdown, which is what happened, that's the end of the game. So it was kind of an interesting situation because watching it, it's a Super Bowl party. There's things going on and all that. You're kind of like, why are they using their timeouts? What's happening here? But it wound up being really interesting. I really enjoyed.
Whoever won that coin toss should have elected to kick off. In that predicament,
I think Travis Kelce even said that the guy asked.
You wanted
the other team to go first.
Yes, you want the other team to go first because that means your defense can stop it to a field goal, which did happen, and all you have to do is take your best quarterback and your best tight end and put it in end zone once. That's it.
I totally agree with that. As a matter of fact, the ref even, apparently, Kelce said the ref asked, was it Fred Warner? Was that who was?
Fred Warner, yeah.
Even asked Fred Warner, are you sure? Yeah. When Fred Warner said, we want the ball. Now, there's 2 lines of thought there, right? Like, you go out there first and you set the tone. We're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to go score. Or, I like the idea of letting the other, kind of putting the pressure on the other team. Whatever the other team does, all we have to do is match or beat it.
Match or beat it, yep. That's exactly what happened. They were going down for a field goal. Oh, sorry. And they beat it with a touchdown. And even if the 49ers went down and scored a touchdown, guess what? The Chiefs have a chance to match it.
That's exactly right.
So that's why you want to be on the back end of that one.
Well, so I will say if the 49ers had scored a touchdown, I do think that does put a little more pressure on the Chiefs because by holding the 49ers to the field goal, it leaves all options open for the right. So like if you get to a third or a fourth down on their half of the field, your play calling is still wide open. Okay, we only need 5 yards here. We can keep burning. But if we catch them looking, we can go for the touchdown here because if we miss, we just take the field goal and keep playing. So I do think because they held the 49ers to that field goal, it kind of opens up their options even more. So there is a clear advantage to going first. Because if you're San Francisco, your play calling has to get a little conservative as you get to the other side of the field. Once you're within field goal range, because the thing you don't want to do is at some point go 4 and out.
Yeah.
So so if at third down you
because imagine if 49ers went 4 and out, all they would have to do is kick a field goal.
That's it.
That's it.
And you know the Chiefs.
57.
Oh yeah, you know the Chiefs could chew up some yardage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think you're right. I do think going first is the first advantage, but it's also scoring is where the pressure comes in.
Conservative,
right?
Option.
Right.
I mean, your conservative option is like, hey, let's put it in their court and let them go ahead and try
let them set a tone.
Let us go last, and we'll try to match. If we don't match it, that means we weren't the better team.
Right.
If we can't match that.
But if we put our defense out there first and make them take a field goal,
then
we have all of our options open. I do think
we can go touchdown. If not, then we'll settle for field goal and keep it going.
It's like deferring, right? Forever, no one deferred, and now everyone defers.
Yeah, because they like the second kickoff, the second half kickoff.
Right, and so I do think. And they like the ability. In theory, if you choose to defer, you could choose to kick it off in the second half. Why would you? You would never. However, deferring gives you the most options, and that's what I'm saying. Like
and also it sets tones.
It does, but also like because the 49ers chose to go first, it limited their options in play calling. It limits their options. Like you know what I mean. The Chiefs wind up being the guys with the most options at that point. So it was an interesting thing.
Other than that, it was a good game.
It was a great game. I loved how the whole second half, the Chiefs just kind of kept responding. Every time you were like, oh, another score from the 49ers. Okay, what's going to happen here? The Chiefs just very calmly got back on the field and scored another.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, just went out there and did it again. I think this really kind of, and I don't know who these people would be, but there are always people who come out of the woodwork for these things. It definitely has to quiet the Mahomes isn't great crowd. It definitely has to quiet the Andy Reid isn't a great coach crowd. It definitely has to quiet like the now Patrick Mahomes isn't the highest paid quarterback. He's around 7th or 8th in the league this year for cap number. But this definitely has to quiet you can't build the team once the quarterback signs the giant deal because he's in like year 5 or 6 or year 3 or 4 of his big deal at this point. And they're still now granted this year was the roughest year. The receivers looked a lot worse. It was a lot of the defense bailed them out a lot more than ever before. This was the easiest year to say the Chiefs aren't going to make it, but then they still make it and they still win. So you have to really kind of acknowledge that.
He said, we're going for a three-peat. It'll be the first team in Super Bowl era.
Yeah, I think that's too hard. I do feel like it's just too hard. No one's ever done it until someone does.
First time for everything.
And that is always true. And sports is always about, I'm the first guy to do it.
Calling it now, Chiefs make the three-peat.
I mean, they're probably the favorite coming in.
You can take that one to the bank.
We'll clip it. Like they go like 0-7. We just play this clip every week. No, you never know. And the Chiefs they're built in such a way.
Finished dead last in the division. 2-15. Oh man.
Well, like Rice is
Mahomes gets traded.
Rice is their top. Yeah, he demands a trade halfway through. Rice is their top receiver. He's a rookie. Like they have a lot of young, affordable guys.
Top receiver's Kelsey.
Well, yeah, but top wide out.
Receiver. Yeah, he's going to be good.
And the running backs, they've done a good job of letting guys go and replacing them with other guys. And Pacheco almost lost his job coming into this year, so like there is sort of this interesting thing about it. They keep reloading. Now, I do think Jones is gone. I think Snead is a free agent too. I think they're going to have a hard time kind of keeping some of these guys.
You think so?
Well, it's too much money, right? Like if you give Jones the money he deserves / wants, who else can you afford to pay? You know, so like they'll wind up having to keep drafting guys, but they've done such a good job of that you almost kind of believe in them. It was sort of like those Colts defenses, remember, where all the money was on the offensive side of the ball. Andrew Saturday, Peyton Manning, T.Y. Hilton, Reggie Wayne, all those guys, Edgerrin James. So they just kept drafting guys, and every 4 or 5 years, those guys would flush out of the defense.
Their offense is pretty solid as far as contract-wise.
Yeah.
Notable free agents, you have Snead. And then you have
Jones.
Those are your two big noticeable defensive
But those are guys who are big contributors. Like, if those two aren't on that defense, that is a totally different defense.
The one thing you don't want to do is franchise tag a defensive player because defense actually are really expensive.
Yeah.
If anything, you want to do like a running back or
I mean, tight end.
Or tight end, yeah. Not a quarterback. You never want to
not
franchise
anymore.
that because I think they take the top 3 and then find the middle.
It's like the average of the top 3 or the top 5.
Top 3 or something like that.
But either way,
so
you wind up
next
like
year for
Kirk,
Jones.
And if
it's
you
$32 million, dude.
Well, that's the thing is if they do it to you
franchise
once, then the next year if they do it again, because that's what they used to do to the quarterbacks is double tag them. The second year, it's whatever you made year 1, and then they go like 125 of it, so like 125% of that. So Kirk Cousins, if you recall, had the 4 years.
Yep.
Then the 5th year was a franchise, and the 6th year was a franchise because the Redskins weren't sure. I don't know how that works, but between the two of them, between those 2 years, he made something like $50 million, $60 million between the 2 tags. That's a ton of money to put on one player in 2 years. So you're right. You just can't afford to tag the big and corners. The top corners make such good money too.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll
see about it.
But if there's a team who's convinced me that they're going to keep drafting and keep doing it, it's the Chiefs. It is. But until someone does it, I'm not. I can't be the guy to be like, yeah, for sure they're going to three-peat. Now,
come August, I'll be able to give a better prediction.
Yeah, I mean midway through the season, if they're
not midway, I'm gonna call it at the beginning of the preseason.
I would know because this preseason we wouldn't have thought the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That receiving core looked so bad week 1. Remember we came in and talked about that.
Who signs who and who goes where, and then I think we'll get a better perspective.
Yeah, but you never know who the young guys. It takes them that season to turn into those guys, and I do think that was what happened with the receiving core is they had 20 weeks together, and finally week 16, 17, 18, they're this is how we do it, and I think I think if they go young on the defense, I think that'll be the same kind of idea. With the little bit that's left of this podcast, we are going to talk about a little bit about our personal collections and the kind of cards we like to get. As always, we have a wall full of packs and boxes and things to come by. All kinds of different stuff from soccer and pop culture and comic books and TV shows and movies. And obviously sports, football, basketball. We've got all the brands. We've got Panini. We've got Fanatics. We've got Topps. We've got Leaf. We've got all of it. So you can come in at any time and kind of see all these different things. We always try to make sure we keep a wide selection of stuff. So these are some of the different things that we've copped at the store. You've got a couple Pokemon. So those are from the other side even. But they are available here at the Adventure Begins, the Adventure Stadium.
I didn't jump into the vault.
You didn't go into the vault.
Some of the things I carry with me. The vault is kind of. I don't think I should.
Get the big items. No, that's reasonable. You don't want people to know that you've got my rookie card. I understand. You're a big fan. I know you don't tell people, but when you had me sign all those things, I was really moved by that. I was like,
before you had glasses.
Yeah, no, we all get older. But so I like to do some of the sillier stuff, and I'll even get told like, oh, this isn't going to grade well.
Well, the thing with collecting is that people have. Panini says it the same way every time. Who do you collect, right?
Yeah.
Everybody collects differently. I collect a lot more sports than anything. I stash away a lot more things that
you do a lot of you hold on to the rookies and stuff too.
That are fictional because look, here's a good example. How long has Star Wars been around?
Yeah, exactly.
How long has Spider-Man been around?
Yeah.
Marvel, right? That stuff never goes out of date. However, people like Mahomes and Tom Brady, they eventually retire. They eventually die. That stuff.
Man, he killed Mahomes off already.
I'm just saying that kind of goes away. But
no, it does.
Our grandchildren's grandchildren will be collecting.
They're going to know
Star
Wars. Yeah.
And Marvel and even the Goonies, stuff like that.
They really will.
Stuff sticks. That is a cultural thing. It's nostalgia to us, right?
There's an element of that.
The way you collect is definitely a lot different than I collect versus, somebody else and other people that come through the shop. So, some of this collection that we're going to show you guys is just some of the little things that we like to collect that, it doesn't have to be $1 million card.
Right.
It could be a $50 card, but the reason we have it is because of the way we collect and the way we like to see things. And
absolutely.
Maybe it might have been something you grew up on.
Yeah, and so that kind of brings me, the first one of the ones I brought today for this is from the Marvel What If set from last year, 2023. And it's a Hydra Stomper, so it's the Steve Rogers in the big armor. Yeah. And it's from PSA, and he graded a 6. It's a silly thing that I did. But I was, listen, we got the best guys here, and they're like, Cory, this is not a great card. And I said, no, but I like it. I want to grade it. And one of the big reasons why is I think it's awesome that they did the card in the old 1990s Marvel Universe style. So one of those first editions of those cards, you talk about nostalgia, that was one of the first card collections I ever had. And so they acted as though like, okay, well, in this fictional what-if universe, the Hydra Stomper is one of the superheroes that you would see in a Marvel comic. And so they made his 1990 card. And so I thought,
a sweet card.
It is a fun card. So I said, all right, yeah, let's do it.
It's a cool-looking card.
It is a cool-looking card. And so I got that one. Well, we're going to put these up on the screen between us. So you're already looking at it. Another one I did along those same lines was the Black Widow from Marvel What If. This is a medallion, but from this episode, she was just very cool. I liked the way this episode went, where they were fighting the Infinity Gauntlet, Vision, Ultron, and Black Widow's riding around on her motorcycle, shooting virus arrows.
Everybody knows who Black Widow is. You know, like, it's not like it's a person you don't know.
Yeah,
and the medallions are really sharp looking cards, as you guys can see.
Man.
So, I mean, they also have. What are the other medallions? Platinums.
Yes.
They're platinum medallions that have like a hollow look to it, which are really, really
sharp.
And
those are super rare. Yeah. So if you don't get one of those, you slab what you like.
Yeah.
So I also did, I guess we'll just run through mine real fast.
Yeah, run through yours and I'll run through mine.
I also did, so when they did this Blizzard set, at first I was laughing. I was like, who wants Blizzard cards?
And then you start thinking about all the people that make that Blizzard does. Yeah. And you're like, hold up.
Man.
Diablo.
Then I forgot Overwatch.
Warcraft.
Yeah.
Overwatch. StarCraft.
Dude. So at that point I was like, okay, I love me some Overwatch. So I went through and all the characters from the first Overwatch.
I left one day. There was a bunch of it. I came back the next day. There was none.
That wasn't my fault. Someone else bought it. But the guy who bought it, we were talking about it, and I said, it'd be really cool to get like the original Overwatch guys and then grade those. And he was like, I've got so many extras because he bought it all. He was like, I'll bring those extras in and you can have them. And I was like, I will get those graded. So I sent them to HGA and I did the custom banners, which is more. It's a little bit more, but they're cool because what HGA did was they actually went and they took the samples from the battle maps. So it's different. It's the different maps that you played on.
That's really cool. I like that.
So it's a lot of fun. But so I went through and I did the whole, there's like 18 of them. But I did like Widowmaker and Winston.
Yeah. I never got into Overwatch, but I still to this day play Diablo.
Yeah.
I still to this day watch. I don't play it, but I watch a couple friends play Warcraft. It's gone so big universal wise that I can't even keep up. There's so much going on. What other games they make? StarCraft. I played that growing up as a kid.
Yeah, so this was an interesting moment. A couple years ago, Comic Palooza hosted the College Esports World Series, and I was still doing the Nerd Thug Radio show here in Conroe on the radio, and they invited us out to do media for it. And one of the games that they play was StarCraft 2. So they were playing StarCraft 2, and this is 2019, maybe 2020, like right before the COVID. So 2019. Huge ESPN set got built on the third floor of the George R. Brown. They had all the colleges out there playing. It was
Blizzard
nuts.
just got bought out by Microsoft.
Yeah, so I don't know how you don't, right? Like Blizzard seems like one of those companies.
Blizzard and Activision.
Totally worth buying. Why wouldn't you at that point? So guys like Soldiers.
$69.6 billion.
Woo. That's do they take checks? This won't be good till Friday. Soldier 76.
Don't pass it till Friday, right?
Yeah. You guys can hold on to that for a week, right? Oh, stock options. Yeah, I'll go buy some of those.
Oh, you want Bitcoin?
But yeah, so I did like an assortment of I have all of them. I think it's, but I did it out of like, this is fun. Let's do this.
Cool and a lot of people do different things, like collect the rainbow.
Yeah.
Of that certain player, whether
so they'll do all the parallels or all the,
whether it's a CeeDee Lamb or whether it's a lineman, and they collect the parallels all the way from the 101 to the out of 10s to the out of, and they'll collect one of each.
Yeah.
All the way to the base, and it's so neat when one of these things come together. I seen one of my favorites. Some guy collected the entire set of Micah Parsons' rookie year from Mosaic, and it was a beautiful thing to look at.
Probably like 6 cards or 5 cards in that, huh?
No, and we're talking through the not Mosaic No Huddle, through regular Mosaic Hobby, Genesis. Genesis.
So not from one set, from all of them.
From all the mosaic, from
That's
the no huddle.
Cool.
Because there's only certain parallels you can get out of
retail,
huddle.
Right, correct.
And retail and hobby. So you have to collect the rainbow
You
for the
really,
hobby.
Yeah.
And then in retail, you have to get the Genesis, the honeycomb.
That's cool.
You know, like. And
that's a cool way to do it.
In the no huddle, you have to get the different colors in the no huddle because they're discos.
Yeah. So that reminds me. That reminds me. We just opened up that MVP hockey series 1 for this year, and they had the MVP on card printed autos, those silvers, and then they did them the different colors. That reminds me of that. Someone you could go through and get like
rainbow, dude.
Yeah,
that's collecting a rainbow.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
And then this one I did actually just because it is a nicer card. This is from the 2023 Ultra Midnight Suns Fleer, and it's
very underrated.
Dude, this set has been great. And the number of autos we've seen, the number of art on cards, like there's been some really great stuff come out of it. But this is one of those really cool acetates. It's Jennifer Kale, the Hellfire.
Well, it's like a half acetate and a half card. If you were to take it out, you just feel it's jumps off.
It does. It's got a lot of texture and layers to it.
Yes.
We were kind of holding our breath grading this because people were like, the corners and stuff are nice, but it is layered. And we don't normally see those do well.
And they do scratch quickly.
Right. But it came back at 10. So that was kind of nice.
That's good.
That was a nice one. So these are the ones I brought today for show and tell.
Yeah.
What did you bring today?
So as you guys can tell, like I said earlier, you're a little bit of a different
nerd. I'm a total nerd.
I didn't see not a single sport in there, right?
That's true.
That's because the way you collect. And there's no problem the way you collect. So the way I collect, I'm all over the place. I'm a hoarder when it comes to cards. I collect all types of things.
I think of you as like a card investor. Dude, I think you find a lot of things.
I'm a hoarder.
I think you find a lot of things that you think, okay, this I can hold on to.
It's full of Funkos.
Really?
It is. Like from big ones to small ones. But I will pat myself on the back and say I have dummied it down a little bit to the point where I only collect like the diamonds and special ones from like GameCon or.
Do you ever like creep yourself out? Like you walk in your bathroom in the middle of the night, you turn the light on, and like all the eyes are just staring at you.
They're all
okay. All right. It's like a wall of eyes just going, hi, Lou.
Of different areas. Of course, I'm a little bit more heavier in sports just because I'm just a sports guy. I grew up playing sports. So my first one I have is actually one of my rarest pulls I've ever pulled by myself.
Oh.
And ever since this day, I have not been able to pull anything else great for me. So
this is all your luck right here.
Right here. These two cards are all my luck, right? And this is where it all went downhill. I do have a 2019 Pokemon, a Charizard from Hidden Fates.
Oh.
And it came back a 10.
Let's see this guy. This guy.
Yeah. So I do dabble a little bit of Pokemon. I like Pokemon. I grew up watching Pokemon. I remember the first episode.
And you do this with your kid as well, your daughters.
You know, I remember the cereal I was eating when I first watched it. And it was Cookie
Crisp?
Cookie Crisp.
Cookie Crisp.
I remember it.
Yeah, bro. I'm a cereal champion.
Yeah. My next one I have, the next year they came out with Champions Path, and I loved the Black Charizard. So I went after the Black Charizard, came back at 10.
Look at this guy.
All right. So just so you guys know, you guys can see the card right here. We'll have it displayed every card for you guys to see. But these are really neat cards. I like these two. These were
two of my biggest
pulls. I pulled it out of retail packs from Walmart.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man, that's the thing. Like we've been doing this forever. There's no right way to open packs when it comes to it. I've done on a Whatnot stream a hockey fat pack that had an on card Sidney Crosby. Like you're gonna find this stuff everywhere as you get into cards, and that's what I really do like about the card.
And a lot of things I tend to do too is I tend to trade a lot. I like to trade. It's easier. Nobody has to come out their pocket. The one person party gets what they want. Another person gets what they want, whether it's an investment, whether it's a favorite player or whatever. Right. So this next card I have here, I did not grade. However, one of our customers came in. He liked some of my baseball. I liked this football card. We made a trade, and this is a flawless.
Ooh.
All right. This is where like it gets really expensive.
Yeah.
And that's why they come in case like this with the tape showing that there was no type
Hasn't
of messing
been touched
with it.
Yet.
This is a 2021 rookie on card, Jamar Chase.
Oh.
20 out of 20. Flawless.
Look at that.
Yeah. It's a beautiful card. Beautiful
It's
card.
very nice.
And I didn't buy that. I can't afford that. So I had a few cards that I was willing to give up. I think I gave up like 5 or 6 baseball cards for this card. It's strategically planned during the time when Joe Burrow ended it for the year.
Oh, when he got hurt with the knee.
So what that does, no, with his wrist.
Oh, right on,
year.
right on.
I got this year.
Oh, okay.
It came out of 2022, but it's a 2021.
Okay.
Right? It's so crazy. And he hurt his wrist, and I was like, okay, well, not only does Joey B's go down, but Jamar Chase goes down because there's nobody to throw him the ball.
Right.
Right? So it came down. It was in a buy now range for me, and I was like, okay, well, here's 5
By
or 6
the way,
cards.
we host a trade night every month at the store, once a month. Generally the third week. Keep an eye on the Facebook page, but generally it's the third Friday.
Yep, from 4 to close.
That's right. So make sure to check in advance if you're concerned, but make sure you come in, bring some of the collection you're willing to part with, and see if you find something you like.
Yeah, we're both here at that time.
Yeah.
You can also catch our producer Vic roaming around and helping people out, checking out cards because she likes cards too.
That's
right.
Everyone here does, or they're fired.
We're all nerds for cards.
Yeah. What do we got?
All right, so this was one of my recent submissions. It kind of sucks that it didn't come back at 10, but we recently had 2023 Prism.
Yes.
And one of the big chases inside Prism is not only mangas, which are cool, cartoony.
Those are fun.
Those are awesome, right?
I love those.
But we have Color Blast. So recently, we were able to pull this Josh Allen Color Blast from one of the hobbies, and we graded it. It did get a 9. However, I'm not too concerned about what the value of that card is. I like Josh Allen. Is he having a hard time? Yes. The Madden curse. He was on Madden. That's why he got, all that stuff. Hopefully they can get it going. Now, we do have different
what
types
if
of
the
grading
Bills
services.
are just cursed? They got on Netflix right now the
Cowboys
documentary
are cursed.
about the 4 Bills teams that lost Super Bowls in a row. And then I was thinking about that because Josh Allen keeps getting so close. It totally derailed us, but
He'll get it. He'll get it. It's just that he has to fight. He has to go through KC.
Yes, he has to go through KC.
His
but the problem is
kryptonite is Mahomes.
there's all these other teams kind of creeping in, right? The Bengals and now maybe the Texans. Like there's so many
His
AFC teams.
kryptonite is Mahomes.
For sure. Well, yeah. So far.
So yeah, he just loses to Mahomes every time, and it happens. You find that one person that's
Peyton Manning could never get past Tom Brady. Like it happens.
Right,
it does happen.
One of the other things we do offer as well too is not only do we offer PSA grading, but we offer SGC as well as HGA grading
And Beckett.
So some of your cards were HGA,
And some
as
are
you guys
PSA.
have seen some of mine PSA.
Yeah.
Here's an HGA. This one is really really nice to me because I hate the Packers. Because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I respect that.
However, I respect the man that is here, and his name is Aaron Rodgers. All right, now a Jet. But not only is it because it's Aaron Rodgers, but this is the very first 10 flawless that I seen out of like 300 cards that we submitted come back.
Look at this.
And on top of that, it's out of 25. It's a fluorescent orange, Aaron Rodgers, flawless. As you guys can tell, the label on the top of this card is a lot different from the label from the other ones.
Correct.
This one literally has like that elegant look, and it says literally flawless. It's a perfect card.
And they colored it to match the texture of the card.
Yes,
too.
it's pretty awesome, right?
I love these. I do have to laugh at the Aaron Rodgers head though.
All right, so
Our producer was just explaining to me that all of the flawless come with the white sparkle.
Yes.
I thought they did it to match it because I would think
they come
when
all
you
like
come flawless like I would think they would match them.
that was
but that's
when I pulled that one and I sent it out and it came back at 10. It just held like a really special part in my heart. Even though it's a Green Bay, it's what it is. It's just the card itself. I respect the guy. He's done great things.
What do you think would happen if your head was this big all the time?
I don't know. So those are actually one of the inserts that Mosaic does that's really funny. It's like the big head insert, touchdown insert. It's really cool looking. I have only a few more cards here, but two of these cards here, one being Adley Rushman.
Hey.
I was able to secure this at TriStar a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I don't own a Adley Rushman, and the next 4 cards are baseball. And real quick, the way you collect determines a lot of different things. So, like with stocks, you never buy high.
You want to buy low.
You want to buy low, right? So, I look at this like an investment as well, but as a collector, also as two people I wanted, or
So
four.
baseball has this advantage because of the prospects and because of the prospect system. They have so many young guys who have that opportunity to come up and come out. Ellie Cruz's rookies, right, is in this top series one, Dela Cruz.
Yeah.
And what you're about to talk about here is finding these young guys and kind of holding on to them kind of before the wave hits.
Well, that too, but also, is there baseball being played now?
Right. This is the downtime.
We're in the off season. We're in the down right now. It's not here. It's here. This is the buy zone. You want to buy. You want to invest in a lot of baseball right at this moment.
You should do a card show called the Buy Zone
before it actually starts to pump. Right. So, I seen the moment. It was in my buy zone, and I went ahead and got this beautiful double 10 rookie out of 49 or 48 on card Adley Rutschman double 10 from Bowman Archives signatures.
So I totally dig when they come back 10-10, but
I
hate when people send off
and
to grade the auto. Like, grading the auto is the greatest gamble ever, right? Because it's the thing that's kind of least important to me. Like, it's autographed by Bowman says it's him. We agree it's him. No one doubts that it's him. So it's weird when people are like, but is this a 10 auto? But when they come back 10-10s like this, it's great. Also, this particular card, you've put on one of these PSA graded sleeves that we sell here in the store.
So these are what are they called again? I think they're called the Slab Strongs.
Slab Strong, yeah.
Slab Strongs. We have the ones for the regular size. I'm pretty sure they made some for the bigger ones. We just don't have them in store. But I like these because they do protect the card really well. As you can tell, I have some scuffs on here.
I like all the corners.
Yes, I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
If I wanted to throw this at your head and it hit your head, I'd be comfortable with it, right? So
which one of us is the unstoppable object at that point?
So I do have 4 or 5 of these, and I have some other ones in reserve that I do put them on some of the cards. The next one is Adley Rutschman's buddy. They're both rookies going into last year. He actually won Rookie of the Year alongside of Corbin Carroll, and that is Mr. Gunnar Henderson himself. This is going to kill you because it did get double graded, but the auto got a 10 and the card got a 9.
See?
It is out of 97 on card, which is really nice. Again, being the Rookie of the Year for that side of the league, I was like, hey, look, this is a great opportunity to grab this card. And
nobody was looking, and so you grabbed it and ran as fast as you could. Oh,
yes.
I do like the archives, how they stamp them.
Oh, yeah. I do like that. That's really nice. And they're not as circulated, which makes them even more rare.
Yeah.
My next 2 cards are 2 of my favorite baseball players, but also some of my favorite inserts that came out of Topps Chrome last year.
Okay.
And that is the Ultraviolet. So first one we got coming up, and I picked these as well at TriStar, and they were just such a great price. I said, you know what? I got to get them.
Well, when you're faster than the guy behind the table, negotiations are dangerous.
So we got the 2023 Topps Chrome, non-numbered. Some of these came numbered, but which we have the same as that card, but out of 25 up here in the shop in case anybody's interested. It's graded a PSA 10 as well. This one did come back a PSA 10 Ultraviolets. Julio.
I like these big heads like this.
It's so cool. I like it, right?
Is.
It has like that comic book artistic look. I really dig it.
I do too.
And right behind it, I am a Braves fan. I seen Acuna. I had to jump all over that one, and it came back at 10 as well too. So
that's been one of the tougher things this year. Is I am genetically trained to hate the Braves.
So let's go ahead. We look
and
back.
Acuna's been one of those guys this year.
If we look back on comps for these things to get a good raw idea of during the season when these guys are playing, these guys are every other night putting up numbers. This card of Acuna, when this released
during the season,
and a solid $150 to $200. Right, easy. Like,
you talking raw or graded?
Like probably raw, possibly, right? Because it's considered a case hit in a way because it's ultraviolet. But that card could fetch $150 easy all day. I was able to get it for $50 in the off season. Right. And again, that's just buying at a low moment in the off season time. Same with this one. I got this one for $50 as well. So I got both of these for less than what one of them would have costed raw during the season when they're putting up those numbers.
And that sort of goes back to what you're talking about as far as like the buy zone and sort of.
It's a
I
good buy
use
zone.
the analogy that sports cards are very much like the stock market. When a player is hot, when a player is high, when the sport is hot, the value, all of those variables add value.
They start jumping.
They start making the price higher.
Yep.
And if you're a holder of the card, that's great. But if you're a buyer of the card or a seeker of the card, that makes it harder to lock in a card at a reasonable rate.
And
this comes back to grading as well. You don't want to invest too much money in a card before you even grade it.
Yeah.
You want to try and get these cards at a fair value early in the stock life of the card so that you can get them graded and then have them be 10s and have the opportunity to get the most value back out if you're doing this for monetary purposes.
Well, I mean, another thing that you have to take
probably have to put like a little "we don't recommend." Yeah,
is that what I mean by buy zone? Everybody has their own budget.
Yeah, absolutely. You never.
My budget's different than yours, and then the next person behind us, or whatever.
Of course,
right? So you have to do your homework. This isn't just where I go get this card, I look on eBay, blah blah, then this that, and buy it. No, you have to also think, hey, what if I'm holding on to this card for a couple months?
Right. Is this money I can afford to lose? Am I buying this card with the intention of selling it soon?
Let me go back to like April, May, when the opening day happens and see how things jump. You have to look at the percentage jumps to see because it is going to jump.
Yeah.
It always happens.
Especially with the young guys.
Especially opening day.
Yes.
It's going to jump. Like that's why Top Series 1 2024 that we just recently got is jumping right now because of a lot of the young players in there. I believe that the catchers and pitchers just got called in for
Astros. They just did the first news piece about the Astros this year.
So I mean, like it's going to start riling up again.
Yeah, it is,
especially with all these other cards. One last card I have to show to you guys from my personal collection is actually out of a couple new boxes that we got. This is a recently new card that I got.
All right.
Quick little story behind it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I told you I can never pick me anything great.
At all.
I just lost the touch. I do not have the mojo, right? So I asked Hot Hands Tyler out there.
Tyler's been on a burner.
Dude.
A burner.
If you guys come in, after you see this and you guys come in, ask Tyler to pluck your boxes.
Like it's
right?
just
He's
been
here Monday through Friday. He'll pluck you a box.
It's been gross. Honestly.
It's been outrageous. So we just recently got the Wild Card Mania in.
Okay, I've been looking at these.
And I'm like, you know what? I want me a CJ Stroud. I want me an auto from CJ Stroud. And I looked at the checklist, and the checklist is awesome. You have upcoming players coming into your draft, but also the downfall is that you can get linemen, you can get punters, and I'm like,
hey, you get 8 Pat
cards.
McAfee would tell you that a punter counts.
You get 8 cards. All 8 of them are numbered. And with the gold pack in there is a guaranteed out of 3. Yeah, they're all numbered and all autoed.
Okay.
So I go through the first 7. It's complete. It's
poop.
It's not nice to me. It's caca. And I'm like, Tyler, Hot Hands Tyler, whatever.
Right.
And then
the gold pack
comes out.
Okay. Do you hear the little angel thing?
It wasn't numbered.
Uh-oh.
Which was like, I was like, what? I seen the name on the back, and then I looked in the front, and it was this. It was a case hit.
Ooh.
Autograph by our number 1 pick next year. Who is it?
You think Caleb Williams is the number 1 pick?
Number 1 pick, Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Case hit. So
I like this. I like that they got Los Angeles behind it.
See how nice the die cut is. It's really nice, clean cut. All the cards in the Wild Card Mania come concealed in a one-touch, sealed up, so it was never tampered with. All the cards come like that. So we do have a few boxes left as well, too. I mean, people have definitely slept on that product.
And there's still an opportunity to get the CJ Strouds. There's still all kinds of guys that are live in there. Bryce Young, the different rookies from the draft class who went.
Yes. I mean, you can get Bryce. You can get everybody
Fanatics
that signed
exclusive.
with Fanatics. But see, they're all in, like, he's in his USC uni.
But no logos. And it says Los Angeles, which I think is free to use for everyone.
It is.
I think I could say Los Angeles on this podcast without any problems.
The Bryce is in the colors of the Panthers.
Yeah.
Same with the Texans with CJ Stroud. So it looks really
clean. They're very
cut.
sneaky.
They do hold very good value, and it's the only place where you can find their autographs right now on anything that looks anything close to.
That's the thing. The market right now is screaming for CJ Stroud, screaming for it, and the number of places you can get CJ Stroud autos from packs of cards is incredibly limited.
It is,
and it's going to be almost exclusively unlicensed stuff
until 2025.
Correct. Or unless I think this offseason something could happen. Yeah, because the PA already moved. Like the PA already voted to dissolve the relationship. They're just waiting on the NFL to get on board.
We're getting a little carried away here, but for some of the people that don't know what we're talking about how Fanatics has stole some of the autograph rights to some of the biggest players.
Because they hold the future rights for the NFL cards anyway. They then have started reaching out because of the NIL. Yep. They can just go ahead and scoop up these guys that they think are going to be the top picks. And from last year's draft class, they got several of the top guys, including Stroud, Bryce Young, who was 1 overall. C.J. Stroud, who was 2.
And Levis.
And Levis,
they did not get Anthony Richardson. That's why Anthony Richardson is in Prism Panini products.
That's why you can get his autos.
That's why you can get them.
You can see C.J. Stroud in the cards because he plays for the Texans and they have the right to the NFL. Yep. What you won't get in Panini product is autos from C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young or Levis, and that's the difference, and that's what's going on kind of behind the scenes in the card world. And that's why unlicensed is kind of...
They're slowly taking them out, though. They're slowly taking them out. Here, this one. Wemby is not signing for Panini.
Yeah.
Because he has got a Fanatics exclusivity.
That's the thing is Fanatics is sort of scooped up.
Your stuff, though?
Oh, it hurts Panini tremendously. Tremendously.
You go from a box that could potentially sell for... This is absurd. $1,500 to $2,000 next week on NBA Prism because it has Wemby autos in there. Now to sub 800s because it does not have Wemby autos in there, and people are still skeptical on there. But what saves the product is Brandon Miller, all those other guys, signing
Chet Holmgren, all the other
guys, even some of your vets like Lulu, Luka Doncic. A lot of those things. I don't think
that's his nickname at all.
He signs Lulu.
Does he really? Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. All right. I think you just said that to make yourself feel better.
No, he said that's what his mother called him. That's why he signs a Lulu.
Okay. All right.
So
Mama's boy. I didn't know that.
Fun fact, right? So I think that's what's kind of saving that product there. But
it is. I mean, there's still enough other guys in play for Panini that it's worth it. So I don't want to totally poo-poo it, but if you are looking for the CJ Strouds, if you're looking for the Bryce Youngs, if you're looking for the Wembys, your best bet in stuff currently is select Fanatics product or unlicensed.
Yeah.
And because of that, unlicensed is really kind of having this second coming. Yeah. Where they're really enjoying their moment in the sun. They're making the best off of this little card war that's happening.
The edge. I mean, we can see the cliff.
Yeah.
As a Panini, you can see the cliff. There's either get on board or fly, young fly.
So all that being said, thanks for hanging out with us at another edition of Cards to Yards. We are obviously nerds. We're collectors. We're obviously fans. We're fanatics. We do this all the time. Come hang out with us every week on this podcast. Or
ready to do
most
some more
of the
top
time.
series. How about you?
Yeah, come hang out with us. We're going to be opening stuff and just ripping stuff all the time.
Yeah. Top Series 1 is live.
That's right. And there's videos of us unboxing all kinds of new product all the time. Just make sure you're following the Facebook page. You'll see stuff. We just did some NASCAR and some hockey so people can see all of those kind of things. We're going to be doing some more hockey later this week. I'm going to open a bunch of credentials. So keep an eye on the Facebook page. There's going to be a live video in the next few days doing that. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Everyone have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the podcast. Like, subscribe, follow, click those things. I learned that from watching YouTube. Yeah.
You're learning a grasshopper.
I am. I am a grasshopper with a mind. Let's do this, guys. Everyone hang out and have a great rest of the time. Come open cards with us here at the Adventure Stadium.